People are as interested in their self-perception as they are in the way other people perceive them. This is true when it comes to their physical appearance, their interpersonal skills, their cognitive abilities, and of course, their personality traits. It can be argued that one of the most extensively researched psychological traits by both psychologists and people interested in psychology are people's varying levels of introversion, which can be proven to be surprisingly beneficial to those who tend to display high levels of introversion. Hey everybody, welcome to Psychology Element. In this video, we will be counting down 17 things introverts are best at doing. Make sure to watch until number 1, because this listing will give you ideas for ways to maximize your potential if you are an introvert, or provide you with a better understanding of an introvert's mind in general. Introversion is a personality trait that lies on a continuum from extreme introversion to extreme extraversion. Most people assume that an introverted person is automatically shy or socially awkward. In reality, introversion just refers to a basic personality style, characterized by an orientation towards the inner world of a person's mind, rather than the outer world of other people. This definition of introversion might sound like extraversion could be more beneficial for a person who possesses it than introversion. But introverted people are very skilled and even advantaged over extroverts in various ways that we will be listing in this video. So, let's start the countdown of things introverted people are best at doing. Number 17. Introverts rarely get bored by themselves. Their rich inner worlds and vivid imaginations are very reliable sources of stimulation for introverted people, which diminishes their likelihood of being bored, even when they are alone for prolonged periods of time. Their capacity for maintaining interest in subjects which do not require the presence of other people allow introverts to constantly find new sources of stimulation within themselves. Number 16. Introverts tend to have diverse interests and hobbies. A person with a predominantly introverted personality style is likely to have a highly diversified set of interests that do not involve other people. Evidence suggests that both extroverts and introverts possess equal amounts of a neurotransmitter called dopamine, which is a chemical associated with reward and pleasure-seeking part of their brains. However, their nervous systems react differently to the presence of this chemical. While extroverts tend to get a buzz when they experience the rush of dopamine, introverts tend to feel run down by it. Introverts then tend to withdraw into their own worlds in order to recharge, which they achieve by practicing and pursuing their multiple interests and hobbies. Since we live in a world where external stimulation has become overwhelming and omnipresent, introverted people's brains often get oversaturated by it, and they feel the need to retreat into their own spaces and ever-multiplying interests. Number 15. Introverts tend to be thoughtful leaders. It might seem like naturally extroverted people would make for better leaders, but that might not always be the case, since they are not as oriented to stimulation-seeking behaviors and are less likely to be bothered by external sources of validation. They may utilize their thoughtfulness to bring informed decisions that can benefit both themselves and their work colleagues. Number 14. Introverts often demonstrate commitment to their goals. The previous point is closely related to this one, except that this one can be expanded to more than leadership positions. Introverts tend to be driven and disciplined, since they are neither primarily motivated nor distracted by external stimuli. They are able to orient themselves to the pursuit of ambitious goals, which can turn them into successful people. Number 13. Introverts tend to be focused on big-ticket issues. Unbothered by their trivialities of day-to-day life, introverts are rarely interested in small talk that constant social interactions sometimes require. Their dedication to the world of ideas and possibilities often leads them to intense interest and extensive research of issues relevant to the world at large, such as geopolitical issues, pollution, hunger, and even more fundamental philosophical matters, such as the meaning of life and their own purpose, that require a clear mind free of constant distractions. Number 12. Introverts tend to have a few, but very close and loyal friends. Unlike extroverts, who are more likely to constantly expand their social circles to degrees where it becomes difficult to develop and maintain deep and meaningful connections, introverts are more likely to invest in profound friendships with few carefully selected people. Their friendships tend to be characterized by commitment and loyalty, which provides them with the kinds of environments their personalities and nervous systems are better suited for. Number 11. Introverts have a good concept of boundaries in their relationships. They are, by definition, very aware of their need for alone time, which helps them to better understand and respect their partner's boundaries in intimate relationships. Given that healthy boundaries are one of the foundations upon which successful relationships are built upon, Introverts are able to establish these boundaries early on, and unless these boundaries become barriers that separate and prevent partners from creating a warm shared space, they can understand their own need for autonomy, as well as their partners. This thin line between a healthy need for autonomy and an unhealthy tendency to isolation in relationships when it comes to extroverts and introverts is extensively researched in the so-called Gestalt psychology. Number 10. Introverts are easy to please. Introverted people do not require much to feel satisfied. They don't need big parties, endless adventures, and new people to fulfill their need for excitement. Instead, they focus on their rich inner worlds, expansive interests, and relaxing routines. Number 9. Introverts tend to be self-sufficient and independent. Their lack of focus on too many social interactions, which does have its downsides, also provides introverts with a sense of self-sufficiency and the need for independence. Their focus on their work, interests, hobbies, and imagination often leads them to prioritize their financial independence and stability, as well as to establish their sense of inner locus of control, as opposed to being prone to place control over their lives in the hands of other people and circumstances. Enjoying the video so far? Then don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insightful psychology videos like this one. You'll only get smarter, and it's free. Number 8. Introverts are good at self-reflection and introspection. Given that their dopamine levels do not create an urge to engage in reward and pleasure-seeking behaviors, they are more likely to engage in introspection, which provides them with answers to crucial questions about who they are and what they actually want in life. Number 7. Introverts tend to be trustworthy. Although trustworthiness is not directly linked to a person's levels of introversion or extraversion, it can be hypothesized that introverted people who are less interested in small talk and superficial social connections are less likely to be gossipy and are able to provide people with safe spaces where those people can confide in them without worrying that the introverted person may not be able to keep their secrets. Number 6. Introverts take their time before making a decision. Aside from being an asset in their business interactions and work-related decision-making, more introverted people are less prone to rash decisions in their personal and everyday lives, which is useful in implementing well-thought-out solutions to problems, which leads to greater life satisfaction. Number 5. Introverts tend to be focused and not easily distracted. The ability to easily resist external distractions helps introverted people remain vigilant and focused on their tasks, which is a highly desirable characteristic for creating and maintaining personally and professionally satisfying lives. Number 4. Introverts think before they speak. Introverted people are, by definition, not prone to impulsive behavior, which translates to their tendency to take their time to carefully think about details of whatever they might say and possible outcomes of their words. They are driven by their desire to remain sensitive to other people's reactions to their words, as much as by their firm dedication to the congruency between their thoughts, words, and actions. Number 3. Introverts are relatively resistant to social pressure. Since their dopamine centers are not easily triggered by novel faces and their influences, introverts are less likely than extroverts to engage in behaviors that would signal any kind of conformism. Instead, they are more likely to resist the urge to blend in and are more driven by their desire to remain true to their informed beliefs and convictions. Number 2. Introverts are attentive to details. Less distractible attention in introverts is often manifested in their ability to pay close attention and provide detailed analysis of situations they find themselves in, which allows them to gather useful information about their surroundings. Number 1. Introverts are careful listeners. Various studies of communication have shown that people spend up to 37 to 38% of their waking time listening. This is a convincing argument that being able to be a careful listener can be a tremendous advantage, which many introverted people possess. They are less likely to interrupt, more likely to be considerate in their interpersonal communications, and, consequently, more likely to gather relevant information about a given subject matter, as well as to provide other parties with opportunities to feel carefully listened to and heard. This was our countdown of 17 things introverted people are best at doing. Like the video? Don't forget to like and subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any psychology videos. And make sure to check out our Psychology Facts and Tricks playlist for more. And thanks for watching.